What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. Today we're going to talk about whether or not eBay is worth it, especially if they hold your money. Patty in the morning call this morning said that eBay is holding her money for up to 2 weeks while they review her bank details. No defects, no returns, no open cases, no chargebacks, nothing wrong with her account, except for she's selling way more than she normally did. So she went from 10 sales to 20 sales a day. eBay is reviewing her activity. I can tell you from experience, this is going to happen more often as you grow, especially if you grow really fast. So they can hold your money for an indefinite amount of time. And so what I think is you need to have at least 1 month of working capital, which is of course hard because when you're growing, you're spending a lot of money. But I want to tell you this, I do think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to build your business to a larger scale. And that only requires basically two things. Number one, that you're consistent, right? So you can be an everything seller, but being an everything seller makes it more difficult to be consistent. Hopefully that makes sense. But if every single day you do something different, it's much more difficult than if you do the same thing every single day. Now I understand people say doing the same thing every single day sounds like a 9 to 5, but I think it's a little different because in a 9 to 5, they literally tell you every single thing you do from 9 to 5. If you don't show up, you get fired. You can be written up if you do something here or there. eBay is more like a 1099 contract, and they do reward you for the work that you do, but you can do it any time of the day and as much as you want at certain times. So you could just work 1 day a week, schedule your listings out, have listings go live every single day, but you only did listings and photographs 1 time per week. You can't really do that with a 9 to 5. So I think that doing the same thing every day has more flexibility on eBay because you can schedule your listings out or launch from a draft bank. So in my opinion, I think that it is worth it to run a bigger operation because I can tell you a bigger operation has allowed me unlimited time off. I can spend time with my daughter. The proverbial 4-hour work week, I have that. I could just make sure the inventory shows up and that's it. The rest of it takes care of itself. The ironic thing though, Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, the people who actually do that, they set up their businesses where everything is sort of the same. Anybody can do it. The relationship with the suppliers is on point, with the customers is on point. The business can now operate. It's a 4-hour work week type of job. It's ironic because usually the people who do that spend 80 to 100 hours getting it set up, getting that momentum going, figuring out all the processes to get to that point where they can work 4 hours a week. And they usually don't. From all the people that I know that are killing it, doing awesome, they don't just retire and not do anything. It gets kind of boring. They actually start something new, something exciting. They just live by their own rules. You can live by your own rules and still be consistent. I think people are allergic to being consistent for some reason. They think it's like chains holding you down, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. When you become consistent, you develop the most important part of business, which is an intimate relationship with your customers, with your suppliers, and I'll tell you guys about mine, and hopefully this can help you build those relationships as well. So on the front end, I'm basically a clothing recycler. I sell goods at the flea market. I sell goods that I find at the flea market. So all the vendors that I work with at the flea market already know what types of goods I'm looking for. I'm adding a new category and I let them know, hey, I also am on the lookout for this. Sometimes they need help from me because, as an example, last week, my clothing supplier had shoes because their shoe buyer didn't show up. So I ended up buying those shoes, wholesaling those shoes out to help my flea market vendor out so they weren't stuck with that inventory getting in their way. Now that's out of my normal scope of just selling clothing, but I wanted to help out one of the people I need to have an intimate relationship with. I've had suppliers come to my wedding. That's how close we are. And it makes sense if you have an uncle in the business that you would be successful because having a good supplier is a big part of this, but it's not just that. I have a pretty good relationship with my landlord. A couple of days ago, we received a 53-foot truck worth of stuff. It was 26 pallets. I made kind of a big mess in the parking lot unloading it because I had to park the truck on the street and basically use a forklift to get it off the truck and then roll it into my warehouse space. Now, I thought I was going to piss off the landlord because of that, but he actually thought it was awesome. The landlord said, I can tell that you're trying and you're being mindful and you placed the pallet so that people could drive around it and you're only out there in the parking lot for like an hour and a half. So I appreciate you making the effort. I think that that's more important when people can see, like, obviously this is a common space. I work in a live-work warehouse. There's about 30 other tenants here. I don't want to be that guy, that neighbor that's always in the way. And I feel like I'm very mindful. Yesterday, one of my other people who live here, they called me out. I thought this was crazy. They said, we don't like you because you're fast fashion. And I'm like, who is we, first of all? And then also, I'm not fast fashion. I'm actually a clothing recycler. The stuff that I sell would go into the landfill. If it doesn't go to the flea market, it either goes into the garbage or overseas. This is part of this is part of reducing waste. I honestly believe that I'm in the secondary market selling items that have already been sold. Fast fashion, I consider pumping out brand new items over and over again, and when they don't sell, throw them away. So that's very different. She did not have an intimate relationship with me. She had a very shallow relationship. She said, "Is that your van that's always parked in the front?" It wasn't mine. So essentially, if you have a shallow relationship, you really have no idea what's going on. And that's what I see when I hear people hating or complaining about reselling. They usually have a very shallow relationship with it. They don't have a very good relationship with it or really know the ins and outs, because they'll say something like, "I'll just take the 65K a year my way." I don't think they fully understand that if you do that every single year, you're going to make less and less and less money because the postage rates go up, your rent goes up, cost of goods goes up as Goodwill starts to charge more, as these suppliers start charging more. Your 65K a year shrinks every single year. So I totally disagree with that. If you think you're happy with your 65K year in, year out, you're in for like a really terrible surprise when next year your margin shrank from $5 to $3 and now you can't pay your bills because you didn't have a growth mindset where you want to grow. I don't want to just be able to pay my bills. I hear all the time, "Chris, I just want to be comfortable." I'm telling you guys, if you just want to be comfortable, you'll always be broke. You gotta always be improving, always be adjusting, because if you're not, the rising expenses of everything and inflation make it impossible to live. Me, I'm always looking to get after it every single day. You guys have been watching me for a long time. I've been at this work ethic the entire time I've been doing this, trying to figure it all out. The only change is recently I've developed a way better relationship with my suppliers, for one. Number two, with my customers. I'm now thinking, originally when I started this new project, I had my staff pick the items that they like, because if they like it, they could present it to the customer and they would basically care about the item more because they like it. But now I'm sort of changing to just asking my customers what they like, and we're just selling more of that. So instead of saying to my staff, we're gonna sell what you like because you like it, so you're gonna present it in a positive manner, you're just gonna like what the customer likes. The customer is now number one. They're our final customer. So my whole mindset has changed to that. I'm switching from the Rollo printer to a Brother printer because it's more reliable and it's less easy to screw up. And of course, people will say my Rollo printer doesn't screw up, but I'm printing 300 to 700 labels a day. To me, it doesn't feel like a commercial machine. I want to use something with a better paper tray. I've gotten a lot of suggestions from everybody and I appreciate it, but I am probably just going to move to a laser printer because it's just a little bit more reliable. It's easier to load. It's less hard to screw up, and the paper doesn't have to be aligned perfectly. If it's just you doing it at home, honestly, it doesn't matter what printer you're doing, but I'm only thinking of it through the lens of my customer, the final person getting it. Is it going to help get them the item faster? So that relationship is extended to pretty much everything. Now I have a relationship with the post office driver. His name is Fraser. He comes around 3 o'clock. He will text me if he's late. I text him if it's 3:01. He says, if it's 3:01 and I'm not there, you text me, but most likely I will text you before 3, letting you know when I'm going to come, but expect me around 3 o'clock. We get everything ready. I let everybody in my building know during that time I'm going to be moving my packages out to the driveway, so please don't schedule a delivery at the same time because I'm using the loading dock. That being said, the loading dock has like 8 slots, so I shouldn't be taking up the entire loading dock anyway, but I still like to be courteous, develop that relationship. And at first, I felt like every single person in this building was an a-hole. But, after talking to all of them, it just seems like they haven't had very good experiences with the other tenants. So what I'm doing is really over communicating, letting people know what's going on. I stream all day long, so we're talking pretty loud. One of the tenants here, she told me that she can hear us all day long. She knows all of my streamers' names. She knows what we're selling. She's like, I'd like it to be a little bit more quiet. So I'm like, can I go check out your room? She said, sure. So I went up there, looked at her loft. It's beautiful. Looked at the way it's set up. The acoustics are set up so that her office is right above where we stream, so she can hear every single word. Of course, here, because it's a warehouse, you can make as much noise as you want between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., so I was not obligated to do anything. However, I decided to move my streaming operation a little bit more to the side so that she could hear me less. One thing I thought was really crazy was when she came to tell me that we were too loud, she brought this incredible bouquet of flowers, which I did not expect. It was like unbelievable. It's probably at least $200 for this bouquet of flowers, saying like, hey, I'm asking if you could be more courteous, that would be great, but you don't have to change anything because I have the same lease as you. I know there's going to be noise, but again, over communication is really important, and I feel like it's the same with everything. This is why we fill out every single word in the title, in the item specifics. It's why we're taking photos to try to serve your customer. I am working really hard here to get all of my staff on point where the customer is never annoying. The customer is never asking too much questions. Our job is to answer every single question and make the customer as comfortable as possible. They're never annoying. I used to not be like that, guys. If you were following me in the beginning, I used to troll customers. People would be like, I can only offer $10 for this item that's $20. And I'd be like, well, how long do I have to wait for the other $10? Or I would write some smirky comment. And now I realize people may only have a certain amount of money. Times are tough, times are rough. Maybe somebody wants a gift for their friend, but they only have $10. Most of the time, their best offer is their best offer. People aren't intentionally lowballing you. That's all the money that they want to spend on this item. So I do that all the time. I just offered on a pair of shoes. I offered $30. The guy counted 40. I declined because I only want to spend $30 on this type of shoe, and I'll just wait to see if I can get it in the future. So having this intimate relationship is the main thing that I want to teach my daughter. As you guys know, next month I'm having another baby. People have been asking me what I want to give to Natalie, my daughter, and I just want her to think to herself, all you have to do is be great, and the rest of it will take care of itself. I hope that she has that mindset earlier in life. Tech just told me that from a one-hit wonder, usually somebody makes about $7 or $8 million over the course of their life. That's insane. Okay, so you might as well have that earlier in your life so they can carry you for the rest of your life. Better be 19 and come out with a one-hit wonder so that you can enjoy that $7 million over the course of the rest of your life. This morning, Sally said I said something that she wanted to embroider on something, which was, I don't have time to do it wrong. And I don't. I'm not where I want to be in my life, so I really don't have enough time to be wrong at this point. I have to do things the right way because the right way is the fastest way, so I don't have time to do it the wrong way. I don't have time to do something sloppy and then go back and fix it later or it's broken. I don't want to do that. Like pretty much everything now, it sounds crazy, but I'm buying the insurance, I'm buying the case, I'm buying 2 of it in case it breaks. I'm setting it up so that in case something breaks the next day, I can just pull on the next one. I have 2 sets of AirPods for headphones. If one runs out of battery, I just switch to the next one. I have 2 sets of wired headphones for work because wired headphones don't need any batteries. I actually would prefer every single thing to have wires because it's just a little bit more reliable, and a little bit more reliable means I'm wasting a little less time that we have on this beautiful green earth. We're not here very long, and I really don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. So I've actually changed my YouTube format a bit. If you guys have been watching for a while, for a minute I was trying to think of some like retention hacks to keep you guys watching. So please help me out, smash the like button, consider subscribing if this content is useful. But I really just want to talk to my audience. I feel like you guys are doing the same exact thing as me. There's no information that we teach in our group at patreon.com/theresourcepodcast that's novel. You aren't joining for the information. I've already given the information for free. All you have to do in this order is customer service, ship, photograph your items, list your items, spend the second half of the day looking for the stuff, or wake up, do customer service, ship, go sourcing if you want to be early bird, come home, photograph, list. That's it. You don't need to watch any more videos. That's the entire process. Now, if you want to join the group and learn consistency, that's a totally different ballpark. And the whole point of being consistent is doing the same thing day after day and thinking about distractions. This morning, people were saying distractions are pets, parents, spouse, kids, phone, work. There's not really that many distractions. Maybe elderly family care. I just realized that the book Fair Play and the cards are available for free online. So you can Google Fair Play cards and it will go over the 100 common household things that people need to do, like paying bills, garbage, dishes, laundry, all that stuff. There's about 100 things that we do. You can shrink that list from 100, in my opinion, to about 11 things and make your life a lot more simple. And then you'll have more time to work on other things. But again, that's what the group is about. The group is about being more consistent and surrounding yourself with great people. And that's where I think where I'm going to go in the future of my YouTube channel. I'm just going to try to interview people who are great, find people who are great. If you join the Facebook group, you can join Tech and Sports, who in my opinion is the greatest reseller ever. hundreds of thousands of listings put up, millions of dollars earned. He basically doesn't have to work at all. He's done by 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, sign me up for biggest bank account, biggest expert in my niche, everyone lining up to give you profitable inventory. The post office coming on the weekends, coming on Sunday, coming on holidays to make sure your packages go out on time. They scan every single package. Do you realize how difficult it is to get the post office to scan 250 to 1,000 packages on site? You have to have an insane relationship with them, right? If something doesn't happen, he doesn't have one number to call. He has like 10 phone numbers at the post office to call because his business matters. There's like drivers' wages depend on him. He has a little sub economy. When somebody that's an employee buys a new car, it's like he contributed to that. And I feel the same way. Here, I have essentially 8 employees that can pay their full-time, pay a living wage in California. So I'm pretty proud of that. And I feel like if everybody here, you built your business big enough to support one other person, just one other person, right? There would be no unemployment. If everyone listening right now, which is hopefully like 10,000 people or more, if you just build your business big enough that you can afford one person to help, that's a mega butterfly effect over the entire United States, getting to the point where you're organized enough, clean enough to have somebody actually help you. If you are the 65K a year happy person, if something happens to you, your income is completely erased. I'm not okay with that. If somebody doesn't show up to work, I make pretty much the same amount of money. It doesn't affect me that much if the prices go up or down. If suppliers change up or down, I don't only have one supplier, I have multiple suppliers. So it's like, I would much rather be bigger and have less worries than small and anything can throw me off course. But I don't know, you guys tell me. I feel like I don't get annoyed that easily. When I got a flat tire 2 days ago, somebody in the parking lot said brutal. And I said for 12 minutes. Because I got a flat tire, I Googled how to do it, right? I went in my trunk, I was listening to it while I was getting everything out of my trunk, jacked the car up at the point where you're supposed to put the jack, came up, took the tire off, put the new tire on, scheduled a tire place to fix my tire. 12 minutes later, I'm on my way. I don't have time for something to mess up my day. So I feel like there's so many little things that happen to us every single day that ruin people's days. You don't have time for that. Something that happens to you, a customer files a fraudulent return, eBay is holding your money. Who cares? You have to drive an extra hour to go sourcing. It doesn't matter because ultimately you reached your goal, you're consistent, and there's nothing that will make you happier than being great at what you do in your category. Nothing is even close to that. There's nothing that you can buy that will affect you if you are great. If you are great, it doesn't matter. You don't need anything. You are already successful without anything. So I think it's always funny that people think they can buy something or try something. Chris, what's the camera that I need to use to get better? Your camera will not make you great. What category you're listing in will not make you great. You make yourself great. So guys, the point of this whole channel is make progress daily. Every single day, make more than the day before. Do it in less time or the same time. Spend more time with your family, more time on things that are important. But honestly, I'm so grateful. Reselling helped me buy a house, helped me spend more time with my daughter, helped me sustain myself and other people, helped me put some savings in the bank, helped me buy a rental property, helped me develop these ridiculous relationships with suppliers, customers, and staff. And the quality of your life, if you don't agree with this, please tell me in the comment section below what the alternative is. But the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So if you're not happy with where you're at, you need to strengthen those relationships that you have. That's the way to fix it. If you're having a shallow relationship right now with anything, it's messing up your life. So again, take time, be consistent, be thoughtful, focus on what you need to do, and that'll help you get to the next level, and you won't have to worry about eBay holding your money.